Well, how's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're reacting to Theo talk about temptation. Not only his struggle with it, but the analogy that he puts along with it that helps me understand it just a little bit better. You'll see me unfold that a little bit more throughout the video. So, hope you guys enjoy.
Is the devil a woman? Are things male and female? I find that they are. I like to think, if you think about the devil being because the devil is it's the temptation. You know, the devil, you could feel your train my train will be on the tracks, man. I'm cruising, you know, doing good things for myself, waving at a neighbor, having a fresh milk, you know, doing nothing bad, nothing. I see maybe a bowl of caramels or Weathers Originals. I pass them up. I'm good, baby. I'm cool. I go for a run. I go for a jog. You know, I wave at a neighbor, pet a puppy, you know, tickle a dove. And then suddenly my train, the tracks, they roll right past that temptation station. And there's Satan's little cat house right there. And my brakes, I don't even put the brakes on, but they put themselves on. My brakes will put them like, who's running the brakes?
I love this analogy he puts on temptation. I've never heard it put this way before, but the whole train station thing, it's perfect. Going through temptation before my life, this is exactly how it feels, especially repetitive temptation that comes at you like several times a day maybe, or every other day or every week, or whenever it may come at you. It's exactly what it feels like. It feels like you're cruising, you're headed the right way, you know, you're headed down the perfect path. You know, he said you're happy, like nothing can affect you at all. You know, your life is perfect, you feel like your day is going by amazing, and then there's something that clicks and it like switches the tracks, and then you go right to that temptation station. I love how he puts that. You go right there, but you don't stop the brakes. The brakes just stop. They stop themselves, right? It's exactly what it feels like, because you'll see something, or something will be said, or you're scrolling on social media, and something happens, and boom, those tracks switch, and there you're headed to the temptation station. But you can't stop anymore, you know? It's like something takes over and just starts going crazy, right? That's like the definition of temptation right there. That's exactly what temptation is, and that's why it's so hard for people to escape the temptation and addiction as well. It's the same thing with addiction. There's triggers, there's stuff that you can be headed down the right path, and boom, something clicks and you're switching tracks to that addiction station. You know, there's so many different tracks that there are, and a lot of the times you can't even think about the brakes. The brakes already stop themselves, and so you're stuck there until the train starts going in an hour, and you're like, man, I can't do this for an hour. I can't stay here for an hour and do nothing. I can't wait, you know? I gotta do it now, you know? And then you're stuck in temptation, and it's so hard to get out of it. But I love the analogy he puts around temptation.
And that's a temptation, man. Temptation is such a dangerous little microwave, isn't it? Because it looks warm in there. It looks fun. It's lit up. You open that microwave, it looks lit up in there. And then you walk in there, the door closes, things start cooking. The floor starts spinning around in a circle. You got all your loved ones are looking in at the window like, what are you doing in there? This is just for popcorn.
That one's good too. I do like that analogy. It is very true too. They both line up exactly with how my thoughts have seen temptation before, so it's really cool to see it put in that kind of analogy of the microwave especially, and the train as well. But the microwave being like, you open that thing up and it's pretty warm and cozy inside, you know? You get the light on and everything. I love how he puts that. But then the second that door closes, it starts to get hot. The floor starts spinning. And then also, I love the analogy of having that window, right? Your family, people, your friends, everybody can see that, right? They see you and they want to help you, and they're trying to help you. Like, what are you doing? We need to help you, right? I mean, obviously. So I love how he puts it like that, because it's an interesting way, but also it also makes it funny, you know? So it's kind of his comedian side coming out as well. So it lines up perfectly with both, I think, and it's so cool.
That temptation, man, it'll bait you. It'll bait you, and then it'll damn date you, bro. Next thing you know, you're trapped into a relationship with the devil. You know, that's one thing I miss. Remember when regular things were temptation? And you mill around long enough, and then you've seen everything enough. You've collected enough basketball cards, and you've watched enough. You've gone to the beach enough times, and you've touched the nipples of enough ladies, or kissed enough women, or And then the only temptations around is that it's really the dark arts at that point. You know, the only person that's still stirring the bowl with the wooden spoon, when you look at the hand, you see that it's got dark nail polish on it. And that's the devil, man. He's the only one who's still tempting you.
Also perfect too. It also could go back to those other analogies with the train and microwave as well. There's other tracks, right? So what he's saying is basically once you go down a road of temptation, start getting tempted with small things like, oh man, should I eat this cookie today or not? And then you just get in like a cookie addiction or something. I mean, you could apply that to anything at all, but you just get in this addiction of cookies, let's say, and you can't stop having cookies. And then eventually you've had so many cookies, you're like, man, I don't even care to ever have a cookie again in my life. And then there's a next thing, you know, there's always a next thing. There's never just going to be like an end to it, right? And God has to fight those battles for us. It's not going to be easy at all. They're going to come at us, but we have to resist, right? We're called to resist. And there's always going to be something different is what he's going at. Is you have enough cookies, you're going to want something more. You're going to want something different. And so when you go through these temptations in life, they're just going to get worse and worse and worse. And I love how he calls it the dark arts, because it's just going to keep getting crazy. And that's why we have so much crazy stuff going on in this world, because people don't know how to fight this stuff. People don't know how to push back against it. And God is the answer. And it's so hard for people to come to realization with that, because they think that they have to do something themselves. This goes back to the video that I was watching with Kanye as well, where he thought, why pray when I can just do something myself? Why pray to God when I can just take control and physically do something? Why have somebody pray for me if they could just physically help me out, you know? People can't put a realization on that. Like, I would rather try and help myself, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You can't do it by yourself. It's impossible to do it by yourself. And so every time you keep having cookies and giving into the cookies, it's just gonna keep on going farther, right? And once you're done with your cookies, you're gonna be like, man, I need brownies now. And now it's gonna be brownies, and after brownies, you're gonna be like, man, I need some cake now. And then you're just gonna keep climbing up this ladder of stuff until eventually maybe you've had everything now and you don't know what to do, and then you're going down a really dark path is basically what he's going at. And I also love the analogy of stirring the pot. The devil is the only one stirring the pot, right? You can give into that and you can help. You're assisting the stirring of the pot, but you're not stirring the pot. He is stirring that pot up, and he knows too. He knows those secrets to get in and to trick you and to make you think like you're not doing anything wrong, even though you are. And it's a wonderful analogy how he puts it like that.
He's still stirring you dirty like that. So you got to find those inner temptations. You know, that's what I have to find anyway. I got to find, you know, you got to fight the dark arts, man. And when we stay in the good space, man, I do believe that good things can happen for us. You know? When we get tempted, man, we see that wooden spoon stirring up all the goodies, but we don't see the hand that's stirring it. That hand got dirty fingernail polish on it, and that hand's got the knuckles of a leper. And I don't know what a leper is actually, but I think it's just got, you know, that's the devil.
It's very true too. I didn't really see where he was getting at with that analogy at first, I guess, but I see where he was going now. He was saying that you don't see the hand of the person who's brewing the pot, right? Who's making the cookies. You don't see who's making the cookies. You just see the cookies. You're like, man, these look like some good cookies, you know? And again, this can be applied to any situation in life. I also want to say too, on the topic of temptation only really comes at you when you're doing something right. You know, the devil's not going to just leave you alone if you're doing something right. He doesn't want you to do the right thing, right? So if the devil's not doing anything and he's leaving you alone and you're not suffering from these things, you're doing the wrong thing already. He doesn't need to draw you into temptation. He would probably like to, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. You've already fallen into his trap, right? But if you're doing something right and you're heading the right direction, these things are going to come at you. Like, they are going to come at you stronger than ever, especially when you're doing what God's plan is and what he has for you. And it's a wonderful thing once you start realizing that, because then you can know, man, I'm doing something right here, because this won't stop coming up. I can't stop craving these cookies. I can't stop looking at these cookies and wanting them so bad. And I just want to eat these cookies right now. And then when you start eating the cookies, it doesn't come at you for a little bit because you kept eating the cookies, right? And then when it comes back, you're not on the cookies. You're like, man, I'm going to push those cookies to the side. And I'm gonna not even put them out on the counter anymore. I'm going to put them in the fridge, or I'm going to put them in the pantry, in the closet where I can't see them at all. So then I'm not tempted when I look at them. And then you have that come on. You see who's making, you just see the pot stirring. You see the cookies. You smell them. You start thinking about them. Then you know you're doing something right. That devil's not going to come at you if you're already doing his side. You're doing the wrong. He's only going to come at you when you're doing right. So think about that next time temptation comes up. Realize, hey, maybe I'm doing something right. Maybe I'm headed in the right direction. Because why would the devil go after you if you're already doing something wrong? Think about that. But I do hope you guys did enjoy today's video talking about some temptation. I love Theo Von's point of view on things, especially as a comedian. He kind of throws some stuff in there, but it actually makes sense and helps people see a little bit better. So, hope you guys did enjoy that. Let me know if you have any more thoughts and opinions on Theo Von or have any more clips you want me to react to. But I'll see you guys in the next video.